the Mystic fans feeling pretty invigorated at the moment.
Sure. We have seen a lot of Repel on the Torbjorn. Zimbani obviously is the one that mostly comes to mind. Gibraltar, and now, you know, as we see this defense being set up with Guard on the Junkrat, which is, again, kind of a weirder pick for him, filling the role of Sparkle. They still have the coordination and the communication for this. They've run it in scrims a million times. One of the most common defenses on Assault as well as Escort. And, you know, the occasional Assault and Hybrid. The occasional Gibraltar is what I meant to say there. But let's see how well this works against Stellar. Stellar showing the Sombra. So going back to, you know, at the beginning of the series, we saw Guard play the Sombra, and we looked at said, okay, this is weird, but, you know, he's playing to his strengths. It's kind of a weird pick. Didn't work on Sanctum. But now they actually sub Stellar in to do kind of the reverse thing on the side of O2 It's a bit weird. May just be the scout, of course, but let's see. This Tracer they are showing first. The Translocator has not been placed, so this is, I believe, actually real.
Yeah, just tosses that one out as he shifts over towards the staircase along the left-hand side from Element Mystic's perspective. Guard going to be spamming down, looking for some nades, and Stellar makes his way over towards the back.
Can operate around this health pack over here that's been hacked.
Yep, both he and Climax have worked their way back here. Taco spotting them out.
Just a back door here with Climax on the Tracer, and they are gonna maybe even grab a first tick here. They're gonna force the defense
pull their attention. Nearly pull the hack there onto Daco. First tick coming through.
Very intelligent
takes down
strategy.
Violet. They managed to kill off one. I believe it was Yakpung going down, but yeah, one tick gonna be gained, so O2 Ardeont can't be feeling too bad about that. Still 3 minutes on the clock.
Great strategy, you know, pull the attention away from the Torbjorn defense, grab a tick. If they react poorly, might have even gotten the kill there onto Daco.
Dive up towards the top side here from Yakpung, looking to disrupt this position from Element Mystic. Several members going to be going low. Pulse Bomb comes through. That's going to be Jexy going down. The turret falls. Now, we're going to be seeing that Molten Core, it would seem, as every single member of Element Mystic drops like flies. Exy, the only one left alive, nearly had the full team kill come through, and that's going to be the cap here for O2 Ardeont. Very nice, patient play.
For the first time today, we see just absolutely intelligent map pick into prepared strategy with execution that was flawless. They hold the EMP. He is revealed here. We also see Guard switch over to Sombra. They want a Sombra battle. Here comes Stellar. EMP is massive here.
Yeah, drops that one in. That's going to be Repel, Pokebo, and Guard all going down. Exy jumps on, makes it back over into the spawn room. Now, Element Mystic, can they stop the push?
Looks tough, man.
Is sitting straight forward here in front of the spawn. Saw that Primal Rage ready to go, and Element Mystic just keeps getting picked off. They tried to delay, but this might just be a very fast cap coming through from the side of O2 Ardeont. Pokebo manages to find a kill there on a Climax, but he will go down to the res available as the second tick gets ready to arrive. Repel swapped over to the May, looking to delay, but already has used the wall, he's used the block. O2 Ardeont just keep inching closer. Element Mystic draining the clock seconds at a time, but it's not that impactful here. It's not enough to buy them a way back into the game. They just keep dropping. O2 Ardeont should be able to complete this with about 5.5 minutes left on the clock.
Now Guard's gonna go down, no EMP here, not gonna happen. 97.7, and that's it.
5:27.
If someone tells you that Overwatch is a game that is mechanical and has no strategical depth, they are certainly wrong. Running this Sombra Tracer, very difficult to collapse onto. You need a big commitment of heroes to get onto the point, the backdoor on A, because both of those heroes have a recall. The Sombra can recall back to the health pack she's already hacked, with her Translocator, of course, and then the Tracer can recall to full health and stick around for a long time. So just sending one Diva over alone is not enough, so they needed to send multiple more heroes over there, and that just totally shut down what they were trying to do with the Torbjorn. Now, on top of that, you've built an EMP, you have ult advantage, while they're trying to switch off the Torbjorn that failed to get the Molten Core. So strategically from A to B, this is a plan that snowballs super hard when successful, and they predicted successfully that Element Mystic would once again run the Torbjorn. Repel has been doing this so much, so it's a little bit predictable that they would actually do this. They've got a counter strategy prepared, they run it in. The EMP is big on B, and they just choke everybody out. Guard trying to run his own Sombra to counter, but never was able to build the EMP, got picked off multiple times. This is the kind of stuff that, you know, you see where the strategy is good, it's intelligent, and it works. Obviously, earlier we saw Bebe on the Roadhog, and there was clearly some strategy there, but because it failed, no one is as hyped as I am right now watching this and explaining this. Everyone, has question marks over their heads. Maybe the strategy works better in a different scenario, gets a different composition, we'll never know. But this one worked out so well for O2 Ardeont. They've taken the wind out of Element Mystic's sails. They've shattered the momentum that was built up the first 2 maps now. And we will see multi-tank attack here. The quad tank Lucio Moira attack versus the Junkrat defense with Widow. Very ult-efficient way to approach point A.
All right, charging through. Guard with the Zarya. Jexay speeding everybody up. Xy's just going to be flailing around like a madman, trying to find anything that moves. Hit it with this mace. O2 Ardeont also going to be forced down onto the low ground. I think that this is probably what Element Mystic should have done immediately on their defense, is just shift the Orisa down, get the barrier up, and turtle up with the turret into the backside of the point. Right now, though, Element Mystic, you have them pushed off. They gain the first tick very rapidly. Now looking for the second. O2 Ardeont's going to have to push up. Very high energy on guard at the moment. Pushing up 90, now 100. Gets the kill onto Violet. Retire available from Stellar. Needs this to be impactful. Looking for a target. Jumps it in. Takes down Pokpo. 3 ticks already going to be gained here for the side of Element Mystic. Now looking for the third. And again, guard. Taking some right clicks over towards Climax. Just managed to find a shot in on the Repel. And Mama melted out of that mech. The baby even taken down. O2 Ardeont will lose just as quickly as they attacked. Now 7 minutes here for Element Mystic. 7
minutes and the ult advantage. They're going to have a grab surge very early. XC will probably lead with the armor against this composition. There's almost no reason
we could see a bigger bet.
Yeah, we certainly could. We saw the combo earlier today with the Shatter.
Oh, Climax, really?
Okay, so Climax switching the Bastion here. They need heavy firepower, but this is so risky. He's going to be the target. Does a lot of damage, but he can't live forever. Grab's ready.
Yeah, high energy coming through. Stellar, Yakpung both going to be going down. They need to deal with this Bastion. He's healing himself back up. Eva coming up into the front, trying to use that defense matrix to mitigate that damage coming through. Sleep Dart going to connect in from Rain.
Here's the grab.
They try to melt him down, but this Hail comes in to help keep Malco into the mech for just a little bit longer. Climax still alive. They're trying to stay in here. Gets 1 kill onto Exi with the tank configuration. Earth Shatter coming down from Pokpo, trying to gate them out.
92
still high energy from the side of guard. It just shreds everybody down. Mbaba, nothing that he can do to stop this from rolling through. 5:58 on the clock, just a little bit further, a little bit closer to try to get the closeout here on Horizon. The hack comes down from Climax, but it's just not stopping them. They will not.
Guard's about to have another grab.
They will not. And here, they will just go ahead and roll all the way through, and I think they bested their time by about 20 seconds.
Massive.
5:47, I believe, from Element Mystic.
Yeah, massive time banks, but remember, this is not a rarity. This is not an unusual circumstance when you run the comps like this and your opponent does not have the answer and you crush A, you get the double cap almost every time. So it can be misleading, I think, to those at home who have not followed competitive Overwatch for a long time. When you see huge time banks like this, it looks like, well, both teams just seem really bad on defense. But you get snowballed because you have to switch comps between A and B, and the attack is dominant on A. You walk over with almost 6 ultimates. The grab came down. Guard has a great Zarya. We know this already. We've seen this multiple times. They run a comp that performs well here. And so now as we switch things up, and once again we're on defense here. For Element Mystic, they don't run the Torbjorn, they run the Repel on the Brigida. And now no longer can O2 Ardeont trip them up with a weird strategy with the, the Stellar Sombra coming out, anything like that. They are showing a Doomfist right now, which is still theoretically possible. But we've basically restarted this entire map. 20 seconds difference, as you say. So we're doing an extra round where both teams have more time than they had originally. They're just not going to get as much bonus time from A.
Yeah, 30 seconds, the only bonus that they'll get if they can get the finished cap onto A. Stellar yet again going to be going over towards the Sombra, so not going to be seeing that Doomfist.
Okay, so sticking with the same attack comp they ran last time, but this time Element Mystic is not going to be doomed.
They're doing the same wraparound. This is going to be Guard going down with the Resistor from Jexay. And Xay takes down Violet. Rez comes out onto Violet, and Repel gets rid of Climax.
Yeah.
Xay finds Stellar. So this wraparound strat, Element Mystic going to be ready for it this time.
Yeah, you can only run this once. Brigida just hiding around the corner, predicting this. Gets the blow-up kill there, and also is able to gain just a little bit more charge towards a rally. So to Ardeont, will they continue to run the Sombra? I don't think it makes sense anymore, because why you run the Sombra is not just because Sombra is a good hero, but for what she gives you to pull these heroes off the high ground. Now that Brigitte is just sitting there ready to counter you, what does the Sombra really gain you? I mean, not a whole lot here.
The outline of Violet, he's just sitting on the ground actually right around the corner. Now we'll go ahead, pick himself up, tries to get the shot there onto Exy, can't do it.
They're going to try it again with Stellar and Climax heading onto the point right now.
Climax already using the recall, could tell by how quickly his health bar went back up, so that is going to delay this wraparound. Stellar's into the back, looking for the hack, managed to find it there onto Exy, but I think he probably would have rather hacked Dako. Back, health pack to heal him up, guard going down. There's an opening here from the side of O2 Ardeont. Element missing this time, they play back in onto the point, trying to stay alive. Dako going low, Jexy repel, trying to keep them alive. Dako dives in deep into the backside. Shield stun comes in, he'll go low, still getting healed up, and now the kills start coming through for the side of O2 Ardeont. They've broken the defense here of Element Mystic. It should be able to get this final cap onto. Yep.
They're gonna have 6 ultimates too. Guard's making the switch to Sombra already. Pokepo's making the switch over to Winston. They've got to be ready for this. When it hits, it's gonna hit hard. EMP can ruin everything in an instant. Climax is actually not really much of a Tracer player, generally speaking, but in this comp, they give more mobility, and then Violet has the ability to spot where everyone is to set up the EMP because he's flexing onto the Widow, this triple DPS comp. Everyone's split against the EMP. Pulse comes through. Here it comes.
Stellar, he's just going to go ahead and throw this. Throws that one down. Poco can't go anywhere, and he's going to get shredded out. Guard manages to find a kill in onto Climax. Self-destruct up into the air, comes back down, doesn't find anything, but Dako makes it back into the mech.
Rally's ready.
Rally ready to go. Wanted to get the pop there onto Humbaba's mech. Unable to do so, and the self-destruct is going to be thrown down as a hack comes in onto the Brigitte. Pushes in, looking for a kill onto Rain. Can't get it. Shield bash onto Stellar. Takes him low. One more shot would have done it, but they can't get the finish. Next hit goes down. Climax finds the hit. Nearly 2 ticks gained for the side of O2 Ardeont here on a point beat, but they get the pop out onto Humbaba, and they manage to take him out. Climax chasing into the backhand side. Eliminates Pokepo. The rest of Element Mystic pushing back forward over onto the point, trying to stay into this fight, trying to deny this second tick, and it seems like they will be able to do so.
Look at
O2 Ardeont
flanking.
still have 3 minutes though.
Xy's flanking. They don't know where he is. They still haven't realized. He gets one.
Stellar going down, finds a nice shot. Humbaba here with the Defense Matrix, trying to keep the rest of them alive. If he had gotten that kill on the Rain, would have bought them some crucial time here.
They actually need to communicate and deal with him. I mean, he's still back there. He's still getting free shots off.
Oh boy.
Okay, finally everyone's going to group up, and they are going to try to collapse on him, it looks like here. But he's already kind of on his way out, so they don't get this opportunity. He gets all that damage for free. Guard's soon to have an EMP. We know what he can do with those. We know what he's capable of. And Violet is not on the Zenyatta. He's still running the Widow, so they don't have a counter to the EMP whatsoever here.
I mean, they're still trying to push this with the solo healer, but maybe he'll actually swap now. Does still have the infra sight.
Doesn't seem willing. They want to continue to run this.
Oh, man. Solo Q flashbacks when your Widow just won't swap off.
And this is Element Mystic. They just have to wait for O2 Ardeont to come to them. They don't have to be aggressive. They don't have to play into this triple DPS. They have the advantage in terms of Widow line of sight with XZ. He's even gaining some armor here. But Guard is just saying, I see wherever everyone is. We got the Empress sight. Your Widow attack here isn't going to be as effective.
Yeah, that's going to be the EMP thrown down. Guard comes forward. Knock Humbaba out of that mech, and Yakpung just cannot get away. Tank line is going to be dismembered. Rain will fall as well. Good push forward here from the side of Element Mystic.
So intelligent what Element Mystic is doing, knowing their advantage. Just kind of playing patiently, waiting it out. And I want everyone to remember that this does not mean Sombra is meta right now. This means that this is like a mini meta within this series that's created by one of the world's best Sombras in Guard, and Stellar, of course, probably second best. You know, BQB's gone now, right? So we have to kind of raise him up the list. But it's just kind of funny how they counter Sombra with their own and just play defensively. And finally, Violet switches over to the Moira because the Widow attack was never really going to find much on B.
We're back to Season 1, but this time Element Mystic might be the team walking away with a victory, but O2 Ardeont still have a chance. 55 seconds left on the clock, starting off with a single tick. Nearly had the second one ready to go. Stellar's going to drop the EMP in. Dako taken out of the mech right off the bat. Self-destruct comes through and gets rid of Repel. 2 members dead on the side of Element Mystic. Pokemon with a Primal Rage. Going to try to stay alive, but he is just going to get hacked out, I do believe, and gets taken down. Now unable to use that ultimate. Up into the air is Jexay with the Valkyrie, but gets sniped out. Violet finishing him off with that right click. Second tick comes through. O2 Ardeont still looking for the completion. His guard goes down. Pulse bomb in. Dako out of the back. Self-destruct going to be thrown down, but the bubble blocking a lot of that damage. Primal Rage here from Yakpung. to match Pokpo. As Element Mystic tried to stretch this one out as late as humanly possible. 15 seconds remaining. O2 Ardeont still in the fight, still looking for the finish. Pokpo and Guard both going down. Element Mystic don't think they can hold this one off. Repel's gonna fall. Dako comes back in, but everyone immediately focused down the D.Va. Dash to the side. Pulse Bomb not gonna find anything. Stellar with another EMP. Might have just guaranteed them this completion here onto point B. Pokpo jumps in yet again, but it's just one after the other stringing in onto the point. Repel can't get there in time. They do it in OT, no time left in the bank, but they get the completion here on Horizon.
Huge win for Element Mystic. They're able to break force the OT with that massive time bank. And I think that O2 is going to feel bad about sticking with this Violet Widow for this long, because that was where they really hit a brick wall and could not push forward any further. Sombra versus Sombra, EMPs traded. The advantages always went to Guard's EMPs because there was no Zenyatta to counter, and every push was shut down over and over and over again. He just stayed up on the high ground, dropped on them when they committed in. And Violet can't do anything on the Widow if no one has, if he doesn't have line of sight on anyone. He has to then force his way into the point where he's vulnerable. And now for Element Mystic, they have the ability to just run the triple tank, the quad tank.
Yeah.
I say triple tank and quad tank because sometimes we don't see the quad, and when we do see the quad, it's Brigitte as a tank, and so a lot of people still classify that as triple tank. I do not, because I think Brigitte operates more as a tank in this situation. But either way, they can run that attack again. They had the first push success. Look at what we see in the UI here to the top left of your screen. Very scary as O2 Ardeont now, because if they do it again and end up with this massive time bank, you're going to have to hold one tick on the extra round for so long. And they're just, again, running the same composition. Let's see if they can find more success with Stellar on the Junkrat this time than previously, where they were just completely caught off guard. Guard with massive energy builds. Yeah. They put too much damage into his bubbles last time, so he was able to just straight up left click everyone to death.
He gets popped up into the air there, and Dako gonna be caught in transit. Can't wrap around the back here with his teammates, and they do not have a res to try to bring him back into the fight. So Element Mystic gonna be halted up, and honestly are cutting their way over towards B at the moment, just waiting for that D.Va to be ready to join them. This for a very awkward situation.
This is the most you're ever going to get out of a defense like this too, because you also know the Element Mystic built almost no ultimates for that last push too, so you bought a lot of time.
Well, they know they have to go forward if they want to allow for Dako to join them. Otherwise, O2 Ardeont would just keep staggering them in between. Dako comes back in, finds the first kill here for his team as Stellar goes down. Hambaba shredded out of the mech, and yet again he gets the 85 energy here for the side of Guard. Just melts them out. This is going to be a massive time bank here for Element Mystic to get the completion onto B, as they just go ahead and wipe the floor with O2 Ardeont.
Very
over
easy
5 minutes.
Push here. Now, 5 minutes, as you say. Guard does not have the 80% he had last time when he walks into point B, but they have the ability to use Moira's ult. And once again, Climax is going to switch. Here comes the Moira ult. Climax can't really even get into place to do damage with this.
Oh, Retire. Going to be looking to stop them out. Repel going to go down yet again. Still going to be no mercy available for Element Mystic, so cannot res him back through. Defense Matrix not going to last. The Bastion goes ahead, melts down Dako. He pops his self-destruct to get back into the mech. In the meantime, the rally did come through from XC. Dako gets the sound barrier. He comes back through. Graviton Surge now going to be available. Guard waiting for his opportunity. Tries to kill the Mercy. Cannot do it. Tosses it in. No Defense Matrix. And they just push forward. And they start ripping apart limb from limb. O2 Ardeont as they go down. Rain will fall. Violet trying to make his way back through. Climax dashes in. Can't even recall. He just gets destroyed. And Element Mystic look for the cap, and they're going to get it. The Riptire, it's not going to do you anything.
Very, very well played. And that's why I said that defense was so important on the side of Element Mystic. Now, they're going to need to full hold one tick for so long. Buying enough time to get that overtime defense was critical for Element Mystic, and then they just pushed the same attack twice. And one of the reasons why this comp is so strong against the Junkrat defense is because the Junkrat just cannot help itself in terms of where it's going to be tossing out its satchel charges and left clicks. You're going to give the Zarya so much energy, because when the bubble comes through, you can't be like, oh, I would like to have those grenades back. Please don't throw that energy in there. Guard builds insane amounts of energy, has high DPS, and it begs the question, why was O2 Ardeont running the Junkrat Orisa defense at all? They should have predicted that once again, this would be the attack. They should have predicted that.
Yep.
And they did not. They ran the same defensive setup. There is no Genji player on the side of Element Mystic. There is not a Genji player. Does not exist. Guard played it that one time.
Wait, what happened to Sparkle?
He's gone. So if you're running this composition that's so good at anti-dive, so meta on this map, you're not really thinking about what you're doing or why you're doing it. You're just playing what's meta, and you get stomped twice in a row by the same comp where you're tossing Junkrat left clicks into Zarya bubbles and giving Guard full energy. He may have even done it with a tech problem.
I mean, yeah, what is the technical issue? Yes, hello. I think I clapped O2 Ardeont too hard. There's a problem now with my mouse. I broke it.
He had a great grab surge there at the end, and like you said, there was no D-Matrix, and the Fire Strike hit everybody, and Pokepo's just swinging in with the left-click hammers. Everybody dies. They are one tick away from winning this series, getting the revenge of the the round of 8 match they lost last time they faced against each other. I do feel O2 Ardeont has come with some cool strategies prepared. Stellar Sombra was really unique. The Violet Widow switch that's exclusive to Violet right now as the DPS. We've seen it on this map many times, even last season. But Element Mystic is just, I think, strategically beyond their understanding. They're kind of blocked into what they prepared rather than adaptation in this best of 5.
Okay. Seems like technical issues going to be ready to go. But I was going to say, it's hard to say whether or not the Sombra is an interesting strategy or if it's almost a desperation.
I mean, it worked well for them, right? With the back caps both times.
Initially, but then when you try it again, that's when you really have to question, like, is this all that you have?
Well, the B strategy where they kept Violet on the Widow was a big problem, and that's why they have no time bank. But Achilios, again, rather than just trying to run their own multi-tank defense here on A, they're going to try to use Junkrat, Widow, Orisa again, both pushes of Element Mystic with this exact comp, with this exact composition, one on the first push.
Yep.
And I feel like it's going to be 3 for 3. They probably should have switched up their comps. We saw it from every other team that defended against this and then went into overtime rounds. They switched it up. O2 Ardeont is going to stick with the same comp, and I have to make the bold prediction that I think it's going to fail the 3rd time again.
Well, if it does, then that is going to be the series going the way of Element Mystic. It all comes down to this push right here. Next team pushing forward. Boom, sent back off the point. They know that they just need one tick, as much time as they can buy here. Would net them that victory.
This
right
time
now,
less energy on Guard.
Yeah, hasn't been able to push his energy really high up, but they go ahead, they push Shock Puck in onto the point. Everyone focuses down the Orisa, and he will fall. No way for Rain to get in there to try to get the res. He is already just getting ripped apart. Violet, Rain both going low. No one's on the point. Congratulations, Element Mystic. You bounced back the last time you squared off against this team. It was a reverse sweep. They get to that 3rd map there on Assault, and they managed to take them down 3-0 here. Still going to be looking for the 4-0. O2 Ardeont, again, similar position that we saw from X6 earlier on. Now just need to mitigate their losses, try to pick up a win on Escort, just so they can lose fewer points.
Look, if you look at the Hanamura defenses we've seen and the Horizon Lunar Quality defenses we've seen against this comp are the 2 Assault maps where those comps are most relevant. Obviously not really a thing on Volskaya or Anubis. Both times that we've gone to these situations when the extra rounds came through, even MVP Space was able to identify, look, they're going to do it again. We also have to run defensive Zarya. We have to run defensive Reinhardt because they're going to run this again. Maybe you get the defender's advantage there. You trade out ultimates, and then you get an advantage if you use them efficiently because you are the defenders. But with the Junkrat comp, you're just feeding energy to the Zarya, and, you know, Junkrat can work well against this, and that's one of the reasons why we saw the Surefour strategy with the fake Brigida on King's Row the other day. You know, Junkrat in choke points can do well against this composition because it's kind of bunched up. The AoE damage coming out from the satchel charges, the left clicks from the Junkrat stacks up. But when the strategy has worked against you twice so dominantly, and you've given up so much energy, you might want to just think about mirroring the comp defensively there on A.
Yeah.
If you lose one time, either way, you lose the point. But running a comp that takes some time to build a rip tire, you are up on the high ground expecting dive, but I'm not sure why you're expecting dive, at least that's what it feels like. The Orisa has literally no value. What is her barrier even blocking? Like, what is her barrier even blocking in this situation? Like, what is her barrier even blocking in this situation? Lucio left clicks?
Oh, tilted now.
Like, I mean, think about it.
Is that all you got? Lucio left clicks? You're gonna come in with that jump stuff?
So
Man, screw this comp!
yeah, I think they got a little tunnel vision. I think they weren't thinking about what the enemy comp really means. I liked the Sombra attack. I thought it was really well executed. I was very happy to see that. But yeah, I mean, in general, left clicks were blocked right there. The Lucio left clicks were in fact blocked right there.
It wasn't enough for the boot. He pushed past the barrier to get the boot off, but we already kind of saw this one happening on our screens, and it's all ready to be anticipated. Stellar has really only been coming through for the assault map, so Ivy will be subbing in. So we'll see if this is going to allow O2 Ardeont to get a victory on Escort. But we can go ahead and start guessing. Where are we going to be taken here, Wolf? It's full desperation mode. They just are trying to bring a win back in, just one of them, to make it a 3-1 victory for Element Mystic.
I think it's got to be Junkertown. You've got Ivy back in. If they kept Stellar in, you know, there could have been an argument for Route 66. I suppose Dorado is still a possibility. But for the first time, Element Mystic has defeated their nemesis. They were all somber in the booth, dominant win after dominant win. And then they win Assault. They know the series is over. They did what they could not close out in the round of 8 last season. Finally, there's smiles on their faces. They want the 4-0, though. You bring Ivy back in. He's the Junkrat. Genji. Obviously, remember, on top of this, Stellar is playing the Junkrat with these defenses on Horizon, and he's not even the main Junkrat. You're not even running to your strength here for those defenses. Just another point on that. But he's back in now. Ivy is. I think Junkertown is the safe bet. But they are going to take us to Dorado, where, you know, you can still play to the similar style of play that we do see on Junkertown, just with less space.
I think that this just means that Ivy wants to play more Pharah.
Yeah, that's also a really high likelihood. What I want to see, what I would love to see, is Humbama's Roadhog potentially here on A. Try something different. Because I think that if you run the same comp you just ran on Horizon, which is very popular on point A defense, they will just switch to the tank comp and do it again. Let's find out.
Well, all coming down to this. O2 Ardeont seeing if they can put a single map win on the board. Otherwise, Element Mystic looking to give us another 4-0 here today.
Okay, defense first here.
For Element Mystic.
Yeah, for Element Mystic.
Starting off. And not really surprising, just going to be seeing the Widowmaker from XE yet again. And right now, Guard showing the Tracer. Could swap this up.
Yeah, I mean,
but
Zafara has not really been his go-to pick. Obviously, he's working on improving his hero pool away from the Sombra, one hero at a time. And Tracer has been the focus. And with how we've been seeing the play from O2 Ardeont, he's been able to punish multiple times the supports and the DPSs. It is going to be the Pharah, as you predicted, for Ivy, at least on attack here.
Yeah, fairly unsurprising. See him start off with this. XE just going to be looking to take him out of the sky. He's going for the wraparound, but up onto the high ground, the Tracer can actually be pretty effective, and already Rain is going to go down.
That's good communication between Guard and XE.
Yep.
On the targets they were looking for.
Ivy now just going to have to be relying on a health pack, really, to keep himself alive. Looks like he has successfully wrapped around the backhand side to grab that.
He's still up here on the roof. And he's waiting for the supports to show themselves. Okay, doesn't find them.
Getting a lot of shots in onto the Winston, though. Dashes over to the other roof, where he's got the protection of Dako to help keep him alive. Just keep spamming away rooftop to rooftop, trying to burn down people. Also just building up for that pulse bomb. XE, however, going to get dropped on, and that's going to be Ivy coming in with 2 kills. Repel also going down.
All the supports were behind. The tanks were winning on the roof, but the supports were exposed, and Ivy eventually got the call out. Hey, the supports are back there. Go take them out. He does find his way back in there. Dako's going to be demagged. Pokpo is almost certainly going to go down.
Yeah, it looks like he's just going to hold the primal range for now. Wants to wait, go for another contest here before point A.
Pretty slick move by Ivy to find that window with the Pharah. That's part of what Pharah in this meta is all about is flanks. Huxall, you know, has shown us that many, many times throughout this season. Ivy and Ding are probably the next Pharahs in line for making these plays happen. Especially once Climax tosses out this infra site, it gives Ivy so much information about where he can find these holes.
Deep dive into the back here from Pokemon forces out. I was gonna say that Transcendence, the self-destruct went straight into my mind. Dako finds two, Rain and Climax both going down, but Ivy gets rid of Repel and Exy. So support and DPS going down on both sides. Ivy, oh dear, pops the barrage, ends up killing himself, but just knocked Dako out of that mech, and Humbaba's able to follow up to kill the Baby Diva. Guard gonna be pinned, no recall available, 60 HP remaining. Will stay alive. Jaquan rejoins here onto the cart, trying to zap Exy to death, and should be able to do so. Repel's trying to keep alive with the Orb of Harmony, but it's not gonna be enough.
He trades it out
with a kick to the face.
Yeah, Repel gets
down
down.
to Winston.
They have the ult advantage as well. Element Mystic does. Repel didn't even have to use Transcendence there. Might have been able to save the Widow there if he did, but it doesn't matter because he trades them out. They have the defender's advantage. The respawns are coming through. He holds the Transcendence. He still has it. They have support ultimates. And all the wind is out of O2 Ardeont sails now. They don't have that momentum anymore. Ivy has no barrage, and he doesn't have positional advantage. He doesn't have that flanking that was working so well when they were defending the rooftops.
Guard going low while he's playing forward. Humbaba, the only ultimate that they have here is going to be that self-destructive with a well-placed bubble from Pokpo.
It all dies.
Go ahead and shut it down.
Exactly.
So a minute remaining here for O2 Ardeont. It was a strong start. Things kind of falling away from them. Climax taking the shot from the side of XC. Speaking of which, Ivy comes in from behind, gets a lot of hits in onto that Widowmaker, but just cannot finish him off. Both supports now, Widow and Winston going down. Element Mystic, they found their ground, and they are not faltering. O2 Ardeont just cannot offset them.
Self-destruct being held now for Dako. And I just don't know if Ivy can really, I mean, the Pharah pick is so meta, it's so intelligent. We can see in the early parts what it can gain when, you know, you're very aggressively forward defending. But now that they can't do anything with this Pharah, look at Ivy. He's trying to find something. He's trying to flank here. He's trying to hide himself. He's trying to go so far behind. Yep. He can get a few body shots, then get a barrage. But they're so reliant on this. If this doesn't work, this is a 4-0 for Element Mystic. They have to make this happen. He's dead.
It's already done. XC was ready for it. Spots him out. Ivy goes down. They put everything on that, and Dako just to further push them into the grave. We'll find a double kill. Another one there with that self-destruct. XC gets a snipe onto Violet. Repel will fall to Yakpunk, but he can't get back to the cart in time. A full hold on Dorado. Executed beautifully here by Element Mystic. XC just shutting their last hopes down.
Ivy's a great Pharah player, and he showed us dominance on parts of Eichenwald, obviously the Sanctum on Nepal, and then on this point, for the early parts, he was able to flank and get those support kills when the tanks were fighting on the rooftops from, you know, spawn to A. But once they played more defensively and played back, he couldn't do anything on the Pharah. And O2 Ardeont, no matter what good strategy they're running, whether it was the Sombra attack that was really pretty non-conventional but very successful on Horizon, the Pharahs that we saw on Eichenwald there, and the the Violet attack Widow on point B of Horizon, these strategies are all intelligent and with good execution can work and get you wins. But when you have good time banks and those things start to lose value, your efficiency diminishes, you have to be flexible, you have to be ready to adapt, and I feel like that's what has lost O2 Ardeont this series is they come in with good strategies, the ideas and concepts are solid, they've prepared them so well, but there's no plan B. It feels like there's no plan B ever. Yeah. Whereas Element Mystic's ready to go to plan C, they never need to because they just keep running into the same style. Yeah. And Guard is looking to maybe even Sombra his way into another win here. He may just be using the translocator to check because I'm wondering, okay, are you countering a tank comp that we might run with yours? Are you running the Orisa? But in fact, it's just going to be Ivy on the Pharah again, with Climax looking for flanks.
What a surprise that Ivy is playing this Pharah. I never would have seen this coming.
It's pretty predictable. We are going to see.
It's like you said, they're not thinking 2 steps ahead. They are just focusing on this is what we want to do and nothing else.
I mean, this can work, but again, it's just so predictable.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a bad strategy by any means. It's just hard to come in with an advantage when your opponent already predicts what you are going to be running.
XC looking for some shots, going to be hounded down here by the Diva. Can't make it over the wall. Yakpung comes in, does finish him off, but not going guard. Come up with 2 kills, so it's going to be a 2-for-1 exchange in favor of Element Mystic. And of course, going to have the faster run back since the spawn is right here. So XC is going to be straight back into the fight very quickly thereafter. Yako kills off Rain, Humbaba and Yakpung both going low as guard starts chasing forward, looking for the Winston here. In the side room, finds the shots, can't quite finish him off. He barely makes it out of there.
But they've already won control of A.
Oh, yeah.
What can Ivy do? Similar to last time, where is he going to find? Where is he going to go? Like, where are the shots going to connect? They are not. And look at the picture-in-picture. It shows the story. The supports are pushing this in. These might end right now. Rolling
in, just has to make it right around the fountain. Discord Orb is in onto Yakpung. He's so far away from that primal rage. Guard's going to be halted here for the moment. XE looking for the shot. Self-destruct from Dako takes Ivy right out of the sky. And that's going to be it. The 4-0 executed wonderfully by Element Mystic. Both teams today finding revenge for their shortcomings in Season 1. Runaway taking down X6 and Element Mystic taking down O2 Ardeont. The last time out, they were reverse swept in the round of 8. This time, they do not budge. They do not even give O2 Ardeont a single map win.
And Element Mystic looks relieved. It was Checksay in tears the last time they faced off. This time he stands up, hugs his teammates, high-fives his coach. There are still some holes in Element Mystic's play. Guard is still unable to run proper dive. But the fact that they've been able to supplement that with really backline-focused Tracer, the Sombras that we saw on defense and attack from this squad, and the really crisp Zarya play that Guard showed us, means Element Mystic has, similar to Kongdu Panthera, their own way to approach the meta. Sure, their dive is not clean, but maybe they don't have to dive to take wins, especially when their opponents play maps that can cater to their play style. And O2 Ardeont, I think they showed us a lot of strategic depth today, but unfortunately the failure to adapt when those strategies did not work out as they planned, or when they had to go to extra rounds, when they ran the same strategy again, Element Mystic was ready with the counter. So I think O2 Ardeont, I don't even want to say this was a stomp, because in a lot of ways they had really good moments and they looked even dominant on some points on the maps, but they were just missing that extra 10%, and that was the adaptability they did not have. They end up going 0-4, but they still look to be a big favorite in the group, and maybe as we head to playoffs, if they could secure a spot, we could see a miracle run again. But it needs to be further depth that we see, or else they're going to fall behind as everyone else catches up in the meta.
It didn't feel like a stomp, but if you take a look at some of the specifics of the maps, it almost kind of was. Double 100-0 wins on Nepal for Element Mystic to go ahead and take away the victory there on the first map. The only map that O2 Ardeont was able to get the completion on was on Horizon. Where they pushed in, they got the 4 points going through. Overtime rounds come in, but they get the final 4 with no time left in the bank, and then they have to defend. Other than that, they never really pushed past up to a point B. They couldn't make it on Icon Vault. They couldn't even make point A here on Dorado. Trying out new strategies, which is always good to see, but sometimes I think you just have to go back to basics, go to what you know. It seemed like they were really trying to shoehorn this Pharah in at every single opportunity. We know that Ivy is a very good Pharah player, but I think they should have differentiated the compositions a bit more. Going over to the Sombra yet again, trying to just really force the Orisa Junkrat.
The worst was the Orisa Junkrat on Horizon. That's where it was like, whoa, what are you even doing?
There was just this complete lack of flexibility here, complete lack of flexibility from O2 Ardeont in this series, and it's a bit uncharacteristic of them. This is O2 Ardeont kind of looking like themselves in the grand final versus X6 when they also got 0-4'd.